No one can make you anything. No one can make you angry. No one can make you sad. No one can make you afraid. No one can make you whatever. You are responsible for that, and you can pull the plug on that. What?
You talk on the microphone.
You want me to talk on the microphone?
Yeah.
Okay. So this week, we're going to talk about hitting him in the face with compassion. Can you say hit him in the face with compassion?
Hit him in the face with compassion.
All right. Can you do me one more big favor?
Yeah.
Because we're homesick today with the flu.
Yeah.
Can you point at the camera and say, go?
Go.
Hey, welcome to the I Am Podcast, where we answer all the questions about spirituality and inner peace that you ever wanted to ask. I'm your host, Sean Webb. Okay, so a couple of quick announcements. First, we're going to start Google Hangouts. Anyone who wants to attend can attend for free. They will be announced a few days before they happen. So if you're not on the email list, go to iamspirituality.com and get on the email list so that you can get those announcements. You can also follow me on Twitter, I Am Spirituality, or hook up on Facebook or Google+. Check that out. Next, thanks go out to Leslie, who just a few days before Christmas came to the website and made a contribution in thanks for whatever value she's getting from this podcast. But Leslie, thank you very much for doing that in the Christmas season. Next, Karen, huge contribution. Thank you so much for that little love that you sent our way, and I very much appreciate you, and this episode is dedicated to you. Next, this isn't the only podcast on the internet, and so one of the podcasts that I wanted to point out to you, I have the t-shirt for right now, Duncan Trussell Family Hour, which I believe should have been called the Duncan Trussell Drunken Tussle. Duncan, you can have that for free if you want. It's a great podcast that talks about multiple things in consciousness and the crap that's going on in the universe today, especially in our world, that could be improved. And he has a lot of cool guests, and he's a stand-up comedian, very funny guy, and has a lot of friends in that world. So it's a pretty entertaining podcast to listen to if you want to hang out and discuss consciousness expansion with another podcast. And so we come to today's topic. Hit him in the face with compassion. Now, this is a new year, and we're all looking for ways to change our lives for the better. And it was in that spirit that one of my friends on Facebook put out a post that I'll read a little bit of. Okay, it's 2014, and I know technology isn't going away, and there's no transporting myself back to 1950. However, is anyone else frustrated with what I see with bad manners, lack of common courtesy, rudeness, narcissistic tendencies running rampant, enabled by texting and other social media? Sigh. And I know from personal experience that she's talking about people in her community, people in her family and friends doing more of this, staring at their phone and doing texting and doing all other types of interactive activities on a device while in the presence of other people, which rubs her the wrong way, rubs a lot of people the wrong way, as a matter of fact. And so my advice to her was basically this. Hit him in the face with compassion. For anything that bugs you in the new year, drop your resistance of it. Release your own need to have things be differently, and instead give that compassion instead of some kind of resistant or corrective energy. Because the reality is, of anything that bugs you moving forward in 2014, it's not someone else's actions that are actually bugging you. Hang with me for just a second. You're like, what? What are you talking about? People annoy me all the time. In reality, their actions are simply the catalyst that then sets off the fireworks in your mind. So when someone does something, an activity, an action, a behavior that you don't appreciate, you don't like, you don't whatever, it's not actually their behavior that is causing your strife. It is the internal turmoil in your mind that is causing the result, the negative emotion, the bad feeling, the ire raised in you. It's the process within your own mind that's causing that. Now, the beautiful truth and the beautiful secret that's revealed is that there's a huge freedom in that. No one can make you anything. No one can make you angry. No one can make you sad. No one can make you afraid. No one can make you whatever. You are responsible for that, and you can pull the plug on that at any moment. You might say, well, how do I do that? Well, if you've been listening to this podcast for any length of time whatsoever, you already know in the Body, Mind, Spirit 101 exactly how to do that. So you know the process. You know the process of turning off your reactive circuits in your brain by taking control of this and taking control of the attachments that create the expectations or preferences. So you know how to take control of your life in 2014. You know how to take control of your emotional well-being in 2014 because we've discussed it over and over and over. And by the way, guys, I went out to Search Inside Yourself Leadership Institute certified training program, whatever you want to call it. I don't know the official name. I just know that I'm going to be a certified instructor for them. In a room full of people, about 200 folks, in the presence of the world's leading facilitators of emotional intelligence and compassion training and mindfulness practice, no one had anything close to this technology, to this model, to this explanation of how we work. And that's not to say, well, because this sucks and that's not really how it works, because we already know that the spiritual side of this message already fits with the teachings of every spiritual teacher alive: Ram Dass, Dalai Lama, Eckhart Tolle, Don Miguel Ruiz, Thich Nhat Hanh, as well as all of the historic spiritual teachers, Gandhi, the Buddha, Jesus, Muhammad, Krishna, etc. And we already know that the science that we're presenting here with how the mind works and how our bullshit comes to be is already supported by Dr. Antonio Damasio and the work of David Eagleman and Jeffrey Schwartz and Dr. Richard Davidson, Dr. Bruce Lipton, and Dr. Rosalind Picard at MIT, who told me, point out, this is the best model for cognitive catalysis of human emotion that exists. And so you know this stuff. You know how it works. And if you don't, go to imspirituality.com, sign up for the free Body, Mind, Spirit 101. It's sent to you in an email every 3 or 4 days. You get a brand new video, goes through the whole thing. We'll teach you how to be a more calm individual and to clear your mind and to be able to enter that space of being able to be compassionate. How awesome is this thing? And I had people coming up to me the next day after I shared it on the first day, and they're like, I thought about that last night, and that's amazing. This is exactly how everything in my life works. And I was like, yeah. So now, because you have that knowledge, you can start to manipulate these variables to change your whole emotional landscape. Now, why is that important? And how does this bring us back to hit them in the face with compassion? Because here's the thing. If you've got something that's bugging you in 2014, and you let it churn and ire and rise and chafe and create turmoil within you, you're going to be dealing with your own shit based on whatever actions or activities that someone else did. They're going to be the catalyst, but your thoughts are going to be the problem. Your thoughts and your rumination and your reflection on it and your wishing things were different and yada, yada, yada is going to be the problem that occurs up here in your head. And so if you release that, if you sabotage that process, then your mind will be clear to feel compassion for the plight of everyone around you. And let me tell you, everyone is in a struggle. I think Plato was one of the people who were credited with saying, "Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a great battle." Well, it's true. Everyone you meet is fighting a great battle within their own mind, constantly, every day, with the same bullshit that we've been talking about. Everyone is fighting that battle every moment of every day. And if you take yourself out of it, that is when you can hit them with compassion. You can use it to remove your own shit and remove your own thoughts and reflections and turmoil and clear that out. And then use the same exact model to say, okay, here's what's going on with them. And you can be compassionate within your own existence to their plight. You don't have to get wrapped up in it. Certainly don't buy into their bullshit and don't wrap your life with it. But at the same time, you can easily understand it. Easily. So what I want you to do for 2014, drop all your bullshit New Year's resolutions, because we know they're going to fail. They fail every year. It's why we don't do them anymore, why I don't do them anymore. I just change. I don't wait for New Year's Day. If I find something in my life that needs improving, boom, that day, that minute. What I want you to do for 2014, forget all your New Year's resolutions and simply start being more compassionate to folks who rub you the wrong way, who are doing things that you wish they wouldn't do, who are maybe creating some waves that are rocking the boat a little bit. Release your need for things to be differently. Release your turmoil that is caused within your own head when you see something happen out there that you don't necessarily like. Release it. It's a huge freedom. It's a huge freedom. And yes, you can still take action to change things. That doesn't mean you're giving up. If you're releasing the turmoil, it doesn't mean that you're giving up. It means that you can now approach things with a clear head. So in 2014, if you want to make a resolution, resolve to release more stuff and be more compassionate to the folks who would have previously annoyed you. It may surprise you how much the world will change if you do that one thing. Even other people, they'll get that energy and they'll change their behavior. I hope things are well for you. I hope you guys had a great holiday. Don't forget, you can get a free audiobook from audible.com by going to our link, audibletrial.com/IamSpirituality. If you'd like to make a contribution to our website or to buy me lunch or buy me lunch with a beer or sponsor a podcast, I would certainly appreciate that. Helps defer the costs. We put all this stuff out for free. If you don't have the green after Christmas, don't worry about it. I do this for you guys. I want you guys to raise your levels of inner peace and raise your levels of happiness and the quality of your life. And that's what this is all about, because the sooner that we individually get to inner peace, the more quickly we're going to get to a collective world peace. And that is no joke. I love you guys. Talk to you soon. Peace.